All right, this is CCQs, where I answer all the questions that you guys have for me, whether it's personal, financial related, or anything in between. So let's get right into it. If you guys have any questions you want to ask me and you haven't yet, the time is now, okay? Make sure you're writing me with the subject line CCQs at thecashcompass@gmail.com. That will be in my description. Some of you guys have not been putting that in the subject, and that's fine too. So the first question is, where do I buy my gold and silver? Okay. So there has been a lot of hype around precious metals right now because they had a crazy, spike, I think last week. So the returns have been crazy. For me, I've been having extremely great results, great returns, even though I don't really buy gold and silver with the intention of making a return per se. It's more just for me to actually preserve my wealth and keep my savings somewhere tangible, right? Because the banking system, if you've been on my channel long enough, you already know how I feel about it. And if you haven't been on my channel long enough and you want information on that, click this up here. But basically, I have purchased from 3 different places, one being a local coin shop. So I can't give you a specific recommendation there because obviously you guys might not be local, right? But your local coin shops can be great because they might offer more competitive prices and you can actually talk to somebody and see the gold and silver right there in your face and actually inspect it. So that's an option. You can just type up local coin shop in Google Maps and you should be able to find something, okay? Next place I've used is ITM Trading, and they have a great YouTube channel actually that I will put in the description. Super helpful information, and I've purchased with them before. I will say that I felt like the service was not all that great. I was actually surprised because I love that channel, but service was kind of questionable. So, I like Lynette's work, but I thought for the prices and for the service that I received, it was not really up to par with what I expected. But anyway, that's where I bought from before. And my favorite is AppMex, and that's apmex.com. I will put that in the description as well. They have really great prices, and they also have a feature where you can actually track, your investment. So you'll see your total portfolio and what your returns have been. So I actually personally really like that. It's a great way to track and just kind of see where your money is going, right? So AppMex is something I go crazy about, but there's also a couple of others online. If you just, check, there's a couple of other reputable sources too. So check those out. The next question is a scenario, and it's basically really centering around authorized users. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically putting somebody on your credit card so they can actually use some of that credit history for their advantage. A lot of people actually sell their credit lines, right? So if I have a great credit score, let's say I have an 800 credit score, I always pay my bills on time, and there's somebody else who maybe wants to get into a house, or they just want something that they need a loan for, but they can't really get it because of their credit. Well, I can put that person onto my credit and they can really soak up all that good credit history that I have. Conversely though, if I start messing up, right? If I don't pay my bills, if I'm going into collections and all this other stuff, they also feel that, right? Within that particular account. It won't affect everything. It's just that one account that you put them on, that one credit card. So if I don't pay my credit card bill, if I get into collections for that credit card bill, that authorized user will have to bear that as well. So basically the person is saying that the accounts were closed, they had some issues where they didn't pay and now the accounts are closed and it's affecting their credit score. So what can they do? If you find yourself in a position like this, it's really important to kind of know who you're dealing with when you get into these kind of things, right? Because if you're going to put yourself on somebody's credit card and maybe they're doing good right now, but you don't know what's going to happen. So it is a big risk you can take. So if you are going to be on someone's account as an authorized user, maybe just be on that account until you get whatever loan that is that you're looking for and then ask to be removed so that it cannot really affect you. But if you find yourself in a position where, it happened, I'm here already, you can actually contact those specific people. So if it's like Citibank, you can contact Citibank and ask them to remove you as an authorized user. Now, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to actually have it removed from your credit score, right? You have to ask them, can you please remove my name, and send this to the credit bureaus and let them know, please delete this information from my account. But if they don't do it, you can also talk to the credit bureaus and say, hey, I've removed myself as an authorized signer. Can we please remove this? I don't believe this information is accurate anymore. And they should be able to work with you, okay? So authorized users could be really great if you are credit challenged and you do need a little bit of a boost. But conversely, you have to make sure that the person that you are, giving your social security number to and giving this information to is actually going to be doing the right thing with your credit. All right, the next question is also scenario based, and we are going to call this person Renee, which is my middle name, so I'm all the way here for that. Her concern right now is that she has her money into a IRA, which is only earning 1% or even less than that, like maybe less than 0.5%, which is not uncommon. Yield right now is extremely hard to find because the federal funds rate is basically at zero. It's at 0 or 0.25%. Let's call it zero. And while everybody doesn't necessarily have to follow suit with that, like for example, just because the federal funds rate is at 0% doesn't necessarily mean your mortgage rate has to go down or your credit card rate has to go down. But typically you will see them kind of moving in tandem, because if the banks can get a more affordable rate when they borrow, they can translate that into better savings for their customers and bring more customers to their business, right? Because if I'm going to charge you 0.5% less than the next bank, then maybe you'll come over here and do a loan with me instead. So typically everybody ends up following suit just because they want to make sure they're getting, the most customers that they can get. So at any rate, the yield is really hard to find, right? So she's looking for yield, which everybody is, okay? She wants to manage her money herself. The banking system and the financial climate is definitely crap, okay? So if you did not know, with the CARES Act, you can actually pull money out of your traditional IRA and your 401k free with no penalty charges, right? Because typically you'll see maybe somewhere around a 10% fee if you are under a certain age, but that has been wiped away with this CARES Act, okay? On top of that, you can make tax payments across 3 years. So it's really, really great to get that money out right now. If you are somebody who maybe needs a loan, you need some extra cash for whatever purpose, you can pull money out basically penalty free right now, right? But then it's like, okay, I pulled the money out, but where is it gonna go? Okay. As I said earlier, I am a huge proponent of gold and silver. The returns I have gotten this year is beyond anything that I've ever seen in the stock market. So you can consider doing that. Of course, I can't give anybody direct financial advice, but it's really hard to find yield within bonds right now. They are just kind of beating that down. Stocks are having a crazy significant amount of growth too, because they are manipulated. So if you're somebody who doesn't mind kind of playing that game, because it's definitely highly speculative, right? The way I look at, investments is one of 3 ways. Wealth preservation, which is what I believe gold and silver is for. I'm not speculating. I'm not hoping for it to grow. It's for me to actually just store my savings and protect myself, because I have something actually tangible. Gold has never gone to zero. Silver has never gone to zero. Fiat currencies have gone to zero. So I know at least worst case, at least I have something of value that I can actually trade in for money. Now with stocks, it could be speculative, where you're just hoping for the price to go up. You only make money if the price goes up or if the price goes down, because people can make money both ways, of course. And then there's also investment, like a true investment where you can actually calculate it. So you can actually calculate, for example, if you have a real estate investment, you can actually calculate your return, right? Because you'll know exactly how much you're paying every single month, and then you'll know exactly how much you'll be charging for rent every single month. So that's a true investment. Stocks that have dividends, also a true investment, right? Because you can, for the most part, obviously they can cut the dividends, but for the most part, you can say, okay, they've been giving dividends for X amount of years. I can, at least I have more certainty that I'll get something back, okay? So think about what kind of thing you want to do, right? Are you interested in speculative, where you kind of want to see some growth? You think that there's manipulation going on and you want to kind of get in there? Then you could definitely look into that. If you're like me and you prefer tangible things, then consider doing real estate. I've said this I think too many times, but I'm not buying real estate right now. I do have real estate outside of the country, but I don't have anything in my area. Right now I live in Miami, and it's extremely high. I have reason to believe that maybe next year or in the next couple of years, prices will be much better, and that's when I want to actually get in there. But if you are in a place that doesn't really have super high fluctuating prices, you can probably get into real estate, right? And actually have a real true investment and have better yields, because 1% is definitely insulting. For that, keep your money in the banks, which are giving you about 1% also. But it all boils down to research. And if you are somebody who doesn't really want to put in that extra time to do the research yourself, then you can get a financial planner. I have a video up here talking about how to properly vet a financial planner if that is something that you are interested in doing. Not all financial planners understand economy, right? They kind of understand, okay, stocks go up, stocks go down, but do they understand why? Do they understand how money is created? Do they understand when to move in and out of assets? Because all assets, even gold and silver, they go up and they go down. So if you want to kind of move through this and try to get as much yield as you can, you need to make sure you have the right person that's going to actually understand that and be able to move you out of different assets when the time comes. So the next part of the question was, how do I start my investment? Like what investment firms, websites, apps? These days, you can find anything pretty much on YouTube or on Google. It's a wealth of information. I always say do not ever use just one source. Too many people, and I'm gonna get off topic, too many people use one source, they take it and they run with it, okay? So they told you that you should be wearing a mask. Oh, okay, I have to wear a mask, okay? Or they told you that Democrats are wrong. Okay, well, I'm gonna be a Republican. Why don't you just get a fully well-rounded opinion, right? Why don't you look at multiple sources first? Why don't you really try to see, okay, is there any consistent information between all these sources and what actually makes sense to me? What can I actually explain to somebody without being super confused? I think a lot of people just say something, they throw it out there, but when you ask a very basic question, they're confused. Like, oh, I don't know. I don't know why I think you should wear a mask, or I don't really know why I don't like Democrats. So get multiple sources of information. If you are going to do a financial planner, talk to more than one. Do not put your eggs in one basket. That applies for anything. People like Vanguard for stocks, people like Robinhood. Robinhood has been having some problems in 2020. A lot of things have been having problems in 2020, but Robinhood has been having real problems in 2020, okay? So I don't know. But I would suggest starting on YouTube, starting on the internet, obviously, see what you can find that's consistent and see what sticks with you, because ultimately it's your money. So if you feel uncomfortable, then don't commit yet. Next question, should you take money out of the bank, take out large amounts of cash, or keep it in the banking system? Diversify. Why not have some cash in hand, right? It's always nice to have some money on you. I've also been hearing a lot of talk about digital currencies. There's actually been some more moves towards digital currency that I might make a video on. But if they have digital currency, you might have a little bit of a premium on that cash in the future. This is completely speculative, of course, but it does not hurt to have cash in your possession. It does not hurt to have physical precious metals, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that for sure you'll be good to go, but just kind of using the past 5,000 years as an example, they have never gone to zero, right? So why not just have some money outside of your current fiat currency? So should you take money out? Yeah, I definitely think you should. Now, how much is how much you're comfortable with? Because obviously, do I want to have $30,000 laying around? No, I don't, because that makes me nervous. But so does the banking system. So what's your risk appetite? Do I think the banking system is going to collapse tomorrow? No, I don't. I do think that it's okay for right now to have your money in the system. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you should or you should not, but I don't really see anything happening crazy by next week. But then again, I don't know. 2020 has been, I got to find some wood. 2020 has been trying. So last question out of this scenario is she owns some land and she's thinking about building some tiny houses on them and leasing them out within the next few years. And trying to get an SBA loan to build the houses. Is it a good idea? I definitely think this is an interesting idea. I've seen people on YouTube talking about making tiny houses, and I think, why not? It's going to be a much more affordable way to live. And as we can see, there's a lot of things going on right now in the world. So if you can minimize the biggest expense for most people, which is their living expenses, then how is that not a good idea? Okay, so there are people out here who are okay with taking less square footage, right, in exchange for a better quality of life and have a more affordable quality of life. So I definitely am all over that idea. I think it's a great idea. As far as the SBA loans, I think having a mortgage loan is much more advantageous because it's 30 years, it's a fixed rate, and you can put down as little as 3.5%. If you want an FHA loan, they have the 203K loan, which is actually helping you to get a construction loan, okay? Even if you don't want to go the FHA route, there's other construction loans that you can get into that offer that same 30-year, consistent fixed interest rate. But the SBA loan can be an option too, but try to use the most affordable ones first. All right, I'm going to end it right there because I don't want these videos getting too long. If you have any questions, ask me, okay? I'm reading my emails. I want to hear from you guys. Add me on Instagram. You can ask me questions there too. I'm trying to read everything and respond to everybody before I actually post the question, just in case it's a time sensitive type of question you guys have. So definitely reach out to me, okay? But that will do it. If you like this video, then please like this video and share it with your friends. And if anything else going on, you know what I'm going to say. Go ahead and binge watch me. And until next time, keep your money up.